Hello folks, welcome back. In this video we're going to put everything together now and build a meaningful private backend for the customers. Okay, that's the vibe, and although we've got quite a lot to do, it should actually be pretty easy because we're just putting the pieces of the jigsaw together. Okay, so that's the vibe. So let's have a private area and we'll call it or we'll have it at the URL your account /welcome. Okay, so let's go open up youraccount.php and let me just see what we have here. What do we have here? Right, we've got this thing called start, which is nice. It displays the template and everything. So let's copy that and we'll chuck it. Let's have it at the top of the code. I know that we've got this test 1, test 2 and 3 stuff underneath. Just leave it. We can use that later on, right? So the vibe is this function is going to be called welcome and the view file is going to be called welcome. Okay, we don't need fetch data from post, and I'm just going to go into your account and into the views folder, and I'm going to make a new file up called welcome.php. okay, and we'll write a headline at the top that says welcome to the private part of this site. Okay, it's kind of rubbish, but it's going to be cool when it does what we want it to do. So if we go to your account /welcome, this is the private part of the site. Okay, now how do we make this private? How do we make it secure? Yes, that's right, Starsky. The answer is we open up site security. It's our site security module. Now we have a little test thing here. We don't need that anymore. And I'm going to build a thing function and I'll call it underscore get user ID. Okay, and this is going to attempt to get the ID of the user, and it's going to do so looking for a session variable, and if that doesn't work it's going to look for a cookie. Okay, that's the vibe. So start by checking for a session variable. Okay, so let's have let's just have a quick look at your account here. Right now we have built these vibes for checking variables and all of that stuff. We had one at test 2 here. Okay, so the vibe was this here, right? I'm going to copy that. If we go like that, and we'll have the, let's call it, instead of calling it your name, let's call it shall we go for user ID? I know that it's the customer ID, but if we go with user ID, it means that we'll be able to use this on other websites. Does that sound cool? Okay, so let's go with user ID. Right now, if they don't have a user ID, then we're going to check the cookies, right? So I'm going to say if not is numeric user ID. So now check for a valid cookie. Do you remember how to do that? We go to site cookies. We've done all this stuff before, and the vibe is we are gonna attempt to get the user ID from site cookies. Do you remember all of that stuff? So it's remarkably easy. We just need to go this load module site underscore cookies, and then we just say user ID is this site cookies, and then loading up, whoopsie daisy, attempt get user ID. That's everything we need. Okay, now if let's just say, I don't know, if I'm just trying to think here, user ID, well actually that's it. If it's not numeric, get it from site cookies. There's really not any need to do anything else, so I'm just going to return the user ID. Okay, that's us. We now have a site security vibe that makes sure, or at least it checks for the user ID. The next thing that we need site security to do is make sure that this person is logged in. So I'm going to make another private function here, and it's called make sure logged in. Okay, and this one is going to be for the customers. Make sure the customer or member, whatever you want, is logged in. That's what we're going to do, okay? So the vibe here is going to be user ID is this, get user ID, the stuff that we've just done, and then I'm going to say if not is numeric user ID, then I'm going to redirect them to the sign in page. Do you remember where that was? Remember that stuff? So the vibe was, if we go to this login thing, they can sign in, right? So we're just going to send them straight to the login page. And that's the vibe. So that's us. That's us making sure that the user is logged in. Now check this out. If we go to your account and then we go to this welcome thing here, and then right at the top I'm going to go this load module site security, and then I'm going to go this site security make sure logged in. It's, pardon me, it's as simple as that, folks. It is as simple as that. So let's give this a try. If we now try going to your account /welcome, it takes us to the login page. That's excellent. That means that everything is working. But let's have it so that it knows whether to set cookies and sessions and all of that stuff, okay? So all of that action happens on your account /submit login. That's the vibe there, and thank you very much indeed. Now, we have a thing that sends them to the private page called In You Go. Can you see that vibe? Can you see the vibe? I think you can. There was one thing that we never took into account with that page, and it was this remember me thing, okay? If we have a look at that, remember, where on earth is it? Sorry folks, I'm on a weird browser here. Remember me, it has a value of remember-me. Now you could have made the value 1 or something, it doesn't really matter, but check this vibe out because this is going to become kind of important. You see, this checkbox has a name of remember, so I'm going to say remember is this input post remember true, okay, and then I'm going to say if remember is equivalent to remember me, then I'm going to say login underscore type equals, and we'll say something like long term. I'll make it one word because I'm a bit weird, you know. And then I'm going to say else login type equals short term. Okay. So now we know if the person wants to log in and be remembered for say 2 weeks, or if they just want a short-term vibe. And now we're going to pass the login type onto In You Go. Okay, so here we go. I'll scroll up. We have this whole new vibe, login type. Okay, and I'll do a little note actually for future generations that says the login type can be long-term or short-term. That's the vibe, okay? Now, if login type is equivalent to long-term, then set a cookie, and that's the vibe, okay? Next, else, okay, else, the vibe is going to be I'll just say set a session variable. Okay, that's the vibe. Now, how do we set a cookie? Well, we've done this before. We know how to do this, right? Let's just have a look around site cookies here. And we've got a vibe of set cookie user ID. Do you see that here? That's on site cookies, okay? It's remarkably simple, folks. It's remarkably simple. So let's just have a quick look here and see if we can figure out what's going on. So if we get this far into the script here, now have we called site security on the callback We have, so we don't need to call site security again, right? So all we have to do, where on earth is it? In you go, right, here we go. I'm just going to say this site cookies, set cookie for the user ID, job done. Remember, this knows what the user ID is. Otherwise, we're going to set a session variable. Okay, now how do we do session variables? Here it is right here. Here it is right here. It's pretty easy. And the vibe is, we're just going to set user ID to this user ID here. So now we are ready to send them to the private page, because they've either got a cookie or they've got a session variable. And I'm just going to say redirect, and it will be your account /welcome. Let's give that a try. I have no idea if it's going to work, but there ain't no harm in trying. So it's Rambo Pass, and this is going to use sessions, okay? Welcome to the private part of the site. That's awesome. That's just perfect. Excellent. Now the next vibe is, let me just open up my sessions. I should have built a thing for unset. Do you know that? I really should have built that. So will we do that just now? Let's just chuck it in. It'll look kind of rubbish, but we'll do echo anchor your account /logout. How's that sound? And we'll just do a little plain link that says logout. Okay, so let's build the logout thing. It all looks kind of crummy, but I think it's going to work, you know. So what does logout do? Well, it's going to unset the session variable. So we're going to do that. So it's going to unset user ID, and it's also going to attempt to get rid of that cookie. So we've got a vibe of destroy cookie here, and that's going to be fine. That's just good enough, you know. So we're going to say this load module site cookies, and this site cookies destroy cookie. Okay, I think that's going to be okay. Can I just check the code? I just want to make sure I'm happy with this before I embarrass myself. So it does that. Yep, that's perfect. Perfect. So it's going to do that, and then we'll just say something like, let me just say something like redirect, and we'll send them back to the base URL, the home page, you know. Okay, so check this. If we click log out, it takes us back to the home page. If we try to cheat the system and go to your account /welcome, it won't let us. It chucks us on the login thing. Now I'm going to do Rambo and Rambo Pass. This time I'm going to say remember me, sign in. Okay, that's fine. Don't panic. We can live with it. It's all right. Everything is going to be fine. Call to a member function set cookie on a non-object your account line 116. Let's have a little look here. Let's have a little look. Okay, so in you go actually does not remember the site cookies module, so we do need to load that up. Okay, so this load module site cookies. Okay, my mistake. I apologize. Let's give it a go again. Okay, so Rambo Pass, and remember me. Thank you very much indeed. And you know, I'm kind of glad that that mistake happened, because it proves that we are using cookies now and everything is fantasticola. I'm going to just open a new tab, and you know, everything is just fine. We're going to log out. Now we're going to try and go back to that login thing. The private page. Here we go. Awesome. So congratulations. You've just made a very cool private members area. I'll see you in the next video.